It's one of the world's biggest airlines, with some of the world's biggest planes. Hard to believe that the Emirates dream started back in October 1985 with just 2 planes that didn't even belong to them. In less than 35 years, the airline has grown to a fleet of 268 aircraft that crisscross the globe from its home in Dubai. From the very beginning, Sir Tim Clark has been part of the management team, first as head of airline planning, and now as president of an airline that has smoothly ridden the turbulence that has hit the airline industry. But just how long can that continue?
Thank you so much for joining CNBC. I want to kick off by asking you about the genesis of this airline. You came to the company in 1985. Walk me through that first year.
Oh, now that's 34 years ago. So we're talking a long time now. There was a group of about 10 of us. Sheikh Ahmed had just been made the chairman. Maurice Flanagan was the managing director, and about 8 or 9 of us. And we sat with a clean sheet of paper. The government said they wanted an airline. They set the rules of the game with regard to what the airline was to look like.
And the budget?
And the budget. And they gave us $10 million. And since that, they've given us nothing else. The business plan, the model that we have, still sits in the bottom drawer of my desk here. It was written out in hand. And it had 10 points. And each of those points, bar from about 2 of them, are still holding good today. And I think it's been the essence of our success, the simplicity of our model, the scalability of our model, and the determination and the focus to get the job done, irrespective of what was going on. If you think over 35 years what has happened in the global landscape, macro and micro, I think it's been an incredible story. And all that time, we've never received any kind of financial incentive from the shareholder. Shareholders expected us to create our own cash flow, create our own debt instruments to finance what we have today. So today, in that time, I should say, we paid back the government in dividends over $4 billion on the $10 million investment. So in terms of financial success, it's been incredible.
Did you consider yourself at the time a maverick in the industry?
Well, we were told that. But at the same time, we were told...
Did you feel it, though?
Well, we knew we were an outlier in many respects. We were not complying and conforming with the old way of doing things. And at the same time, the government of Dubai was... You see what happened to Dubai from the early 90s to where it is today. There was this sense, this free spirit. They wanted to be different. They wanted to make a statement, not just talking, but actually walking the talk.
So revenue's rising across the industry, but the passenger yields are down. What's behind that? Well,
I think it's a good challenge to the commercial group in Emirates, as we see very full airplanes and yield per passenger kilometre falling or not rising at the rate they should be. Now, there are a multitude of reasons for that, but some of those, such as currency, such as competition in the primary markets. When we started this business model and did all the things we did, our yields were particularly high. Then we got others in the region who thought, well, if they could do it, we could do it. And as a result, competition increased the supply of seats on the points served. And when that happens, yields fall.
Because everybody's trying to be...
Basically, they're all trying to, but we have different requirements. As I said, we are a state-owned carrier operated at arm's length. We're still required to produce the returns on investment, the cash in the balance sheet, etc. But it's become more difficult. But then competition, that's what it is. You know, you strip out cost, you continue to look at your cost base, recognizing that so long as there are only so many things you can do with fares, because the elasticities are so much more acute than perhaps they were 15 years ago, because of competition and all the other things. And secondly, in fairness to all the others, their quality of product, whether that be in the cabin, the network that they offer, the frequency of, has also increased. So we're up against it, but then we're still here and we're still growing, and perhaps not as profitably as we might have been 10 years ago, but in the future, yeah, I think if you look at the way the airline industry has been subjected over the last year, if you look at the failures and the stripping out of capacity that has happened as a result of that, yields will start coming up again.
Thank you for watching, and for more from CNBC International, just hit the subscribe button.